flight. This is what Kenya has been waiting for 10 years, since 2018, when the bilateral agreements were signed to have direct flights to New York from Nairobi, and it's going to happen this Sunday, the 28th of October. And we see the story on page 5 of the Daily Nation, of course, citing the Cabinet Secretary for Transport, that is James Macharia, indicating that that trip, which will be 14 hours long, of course, being the very first, and indicating that it would appear like KQ, or is it JKIA, is coming of age. Senator Mora, what do you think about this?
Yeah, thank you very much. Sam, allow me to make a comment before I make this one on the flight. Is that really the people who are suffering when we have cartels of individuals being paid for money that they have not worked for are the youth. Because the youth are the ones who are, farmhands. They are the ones who are tilling the land and, growing this maize on behalf of maybe small-scale farmers, their families, or large-scale ones that are organically positioned to benefit from such transactions with the government. So when they don't get paid, it's the youth that are suffering. And that's why, for example, yesterday I presented a petition in the Senate asking for the scrapping of the fees that are being asked for. You find that in page 6 and page of the Nation and page 12 of the Standard. Asking for fees from KRA, help, and all of that, amounting to 6,000 shillings. We need to really be careful about the way we distribute wealth, because part of the reason why these monies are paid to traders is because these traders are politically correct. You remember there was an incident where a house help had imported so much, and the Kenya Revenue Authority and Kenya Post Authority were wondering how could a house help at some place there be able to have such kind of money. It's because the names are used by big people to transact business with government. That must be brought to the light, so that then when it comes to the allocation of resources at the National Treasury, then priority is on the tenders or the areas where they know they are going to benefit. And that is why you find people who just heretofore were with us with the rickety vehicles, all of a sudden claiming they can also now purchase helicopters. These are our colleagues even in Parliament. You must say the truth. People, you get into public office, within a short time, some people are extremely rich, while others are not. And the problem we are going to have, Sam, is the fact that the current budget, as drafted, cannot sustain. We are going to be borrowing over 480 billion shillings to finance our recurrent expenditure. And it's because, a budget of 3 trillion cannot be met because KRA is barely able to raise about 1 trillion shillings. So the issue of pending bills, as Senator Midhika has said, will continue to be there because we are living beyond our means. And the little that we have, we are giving to unscrupulous cartels of individuals hiding under names of common mwananchi to benefit, and of course to store money for bribing the same voters comes 2022. That must be explained without fear or doubt. Now, coming to the issue of JKIA and the inaugural flight, I think it is important to say that this is very important because I have been to JKIA severally, and I'm happy with the kind of the circulation around, where you are dropped, how you move from one terminal to the other. And, I mean, security has greatly improved. I think I also saw that JKIA has been ranked as the best airport in Africa. That's right. And I think we need to celebrate some of these things because that is independent assessment, and it's not a question of having too many terminals, for example, or state-of-the-art infrastructure. It's a question of how you get the services. I was in Addis Ababa some time back, and I was very disgusted by the people are so crammed up. There's no space. You almost feel like you're suffocated. Of course, Ethiopian Airline is doing low cost, and that is something that KQ needs to look at because you find some kind of luxury with KQ. But Africa, and I think Charles Onyango Obo had written before in the Daily Nation, that Africa needs maybe some kind of low-cost-ish airline that allows people to fly to destinations at a cheaper cost without having the luxury of those TVs and whatever, because people no longer watch these things, by the way. I've been observing keenly when I'm traveling. Majority of the people actually switch off those gadgets. So if those are the ones that are making us to increase the fares for KQ, as for it to break even, that is something we need to consider. Now, this inaugural flight is very, very important because it really will open up direct interaction between our Kenyan market and the US. I remember in January I was in South Carolina, and I met a gentleman there who said to me that the daughter has asked him to pay for him a safari. And then I was marketing Kenya and was saying, we will have an inaugural flight in October. It will cost about less than $1,500 for you to bring your daughter for about a week. This is how much it can cost. So you'll see more and more American tourists and people from around that region, North America, Central and South, because then you can connect easily. And then also in terms of the port charges around Amsterdam, where most of the flights have been going to, via KQ, or London, Heathrow, or say Charles de Gaulle in France. So it really increased our traffic. And when you look at the mathematics, I've been trying to look at, if you were to fly that Boeing full capacity, you see it's a lot of money for KQ. In fact, Michael Joseph has clearly said this is a game changer for KQ. We hope and believe the short day, and I must say this on national television, the short day services that KQ gives in terms of not having this or that, sometimes giving stale food, sometimes, not really, KQ, some delays, those kind of things. Sometimes we are delayed, no explanation. There was a time I was going to Rwanda, we were kept at the airport for 3 hours without any explanation. KQ has issues, we must say the truth. They need to up their game, they must pull up the socks. Where you interfere with schedules and so the next flight is affected and you pretend that you can take no responsibility. KQ must treat its workers well. We've had a lot of complaints with regard to the cabin crew. And so that then somebody, you are on schedule. This information is shared. You get good and quality services. That way, it's not just a question of saying now you are docking at JF Kennedy or Newark or whatever, whichever other place, but people long to go with you. For example, personally, I'm a Flyblue member. I like to log into my mail to my miles so that I can keep on going to the next class. I like that, and there's loyalty in going with your national carrier. But KQ, even when it breaks even, and even when we are able to do away with a lot of debts that they have, it should not be seen to be a cash cow.
Okay. Senator Linturi, how does KQ use this opportunity for direct flight and the improved image of JKI? How do they use that to improve and be better so that we stop making losses and we get back to profitability?
Let me tell you, I don't think I will be very objective in trying to judge KQ. Because honestly, I have had a very bad experience.
When was that?
With KQ, because I've only flown a KQ twice on international flights. That was last weekend. I flew from Jomo Kenyatta to Paris, and then to Paris, and the other one is, I think I flew through Amsterdam, and then went to America. So the 8 hours that I flew KQ, because this has only happened twice, and it's because of a requirement that we must fly KQ, my experience has not been good. And as Maura is saying, I think they must really pull up their socks. We are willing to support them. We have sacrificed our comfort. Personally, I have been very loyal to Emirates, because I've flown Emirates throughout. And Maura will tell you that we went to America in January 21st with you in America. And when we went to America, I flew Emirates. So I can't compare. That's why I'm saying I cannot be very objective, because the services in Emirates, right, are completely different. And when I get to KQ, with the idea from Emirates and the mind. And Emirates first class is completely different. KQ has no first class. Emirates has a first class. So if I'm a first class traveler from Emirates and take me to KQ, honestly, you don't expect me to speak anything about KQ.
So how does KQ use this opportunity?
So KQ has a lot of advantages because you have given the infrastructure. Infrastructure in the sense that they have a whole airport that has met international standards, fully funded by the exchequer, the airports. And you know, KQ, even as I speak here, to me, from an investment point of view, is that this company is not public, right? It's not a government-owned company.
Not fully.
It's not fully. So the shareholding by government in KQ is so small. And we are surrendering all our infrastructure for their use. So we are putting our name on the line as Kenya, because KQ is known to be Kenyan. And whenever they are flying anywhere, they are seen to be the pride of Africa. You see now, when they market themselves as the pride of Africa, they've also carried the name of Africa to fly with. So I am telling them the goodwill that has been extended to them is so immense, is so great that they must jealously safeguard. And if flying from America, which I agree, will be bringing in more people directly from America and with increased number of tourists, then the tourism sector is likely to have some difference. I just want to caution them that as they fly, you know, the passengers getting into KQ will be having some different experiences from different airlines. So they must give better, and they must be able to maintain certain standards that are international. So that now, when that happens, then our good name, right, will be maintained. But if they do not do that, it will be a disaster, and the name will be they will have now moved from being the national carrier that prides or is a pride of Africa and be the shame of Africa.
Wow. Let me bring in Honorable Wanga. We have an airline in Africa, Nigeria Air, that has been in the woods for quite some time. They even tried to come back. They have been unable to do so. And for quite some time, KQ has been using that platform to be the African choice when you want to fly within Africa or even beyond. With this direct flight, the same question I asked Senator Linturi, how does KQ take advantage and really get out of the situation that we find ourselves in, as well as leverage on that fact that in Africa there are not very many good airlines?
Yeah, well, I personally am very contrasted from Senator Linturi. I enjoy flying Kenya Airways. I am loyal. I love to fly Kenya Airways because, not because it is the best airline in the world. I have flown on Emirates. It's perhaps a bit better, but I think that, you know, when I walk into Kenya Airways, say in Paris or wherever, and just listen to the Kiswahili and, you know, the welcome, and you feel like you're home. So I really want to congratulate Kenya Airways on the launch of this direct flight, which obviously has an impact on the levels of tourists. It makes JKIA actually the hub for Africa, because I can imagine people coming in from New York to Nairobi, and then from Nairobi now to Serengeti or wherever else. We definitely have positioned ourselves very, very well. And I think the efficiency and the standards, I think we cannot now depend on goodwill. And I want to correct an impression that government is a very small shareholder in Kenya Airways. It is the main shareholder in Kenya Airways. 48.6% is held by government. So half of Kenya Airways is owned by the government of Kenya. So this is our national carrier, really, that we must promote. And I also am of the view that we as government officials, when we travel on government money, it makes sense for us to travel Kenya Airways. I think as Parliament, it is one of the decisions we made when I was a commissioner of the Parliamentary Service Commission. We entered into an agreement with Kenya Airways, and we said our first point of call will be Kenya Airways, and then if the route or the flights are full or the route is not serviced by Kenya Airways, then you can now fly another airline, especially when you're traveling on government money. But of course, if you're traveling on your own private, then you choose whichever airline you want to use, depending on the level of comfort that you will obtain from that airline. But KQ must now know that they're competing, and that's what Senator Linturi was raising, that they must they must not just depend on goodwill that, oh, we are government, so we will we must compete. Right. What I've seen is the level of cost cutting. For example, on Kenya Airways, if you're traveling and you get that bag for traveling, the men don't even find these things for shaving.
Even the food rations.
I love the food on Kenya Airways. I don't think there's ever been stale food for the time I have traveled, or they ever had stock. Maybe the rations are small, but you see, like for example, they have cut costs so much. They used to give 2 packets of the nuts, for example, even on the local place. Now they just give you 1, and even the nuts inside the packets have been
smaller.
Have been reduced.
Yeah.
You know, if you count the nuts, the number of cashew nuts and the number of macadamia, they have all reduced. Okay, I mean that's on a light note, but on a more serious note, you can't cost cut to a level of, you know, completely losing your clients in terms of comfort and you know, just